get started, we'd like to welcome Justin Thomas into the interview room here at the Hero World Challenge. Justin, a lot of weather to deal with today, but as we look ahead to the rest of the week, what are you looking forward to accomplishing this week?
Yeah, hopefully the course will dry up quite a bit. That was some serious rain on that Pro-Am, so I'm bummed for the AMs that had to go through it after being here. But there's only so much that Albany can do with the conditions and weather they were given. So hopefully get a little wind and some nice weather and dry it up, and we can produce some good golf this weekend.
Just the one start on tour during the fall portion of the season. How do you feel like the game is coming into the week?
Yeah, I feel like my game's in a pretty good spot. I mean, I had a very good amount of time off, more than normal, and although I played very poorly at the CJ Cup, although I feel like I practiced very hard, I put in a lot of hard work in different areas the last week and a half or so, but not playing in a tournament for a while, there's always a little bit of rust you have to knock off. So the hope and the goal is to just knock it off as quickly as possible and just try to get into a little bit of a rhythm and make a bunch of birdies, because that's what you have to do out here.
All right, we'll take some questions out here. If you have a question, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start with Dan.
I saw the announcement yesterday that you and John Rahm are going to be participating in the TGL with that and your sunscreen. You're doing a lot of stuff off the golf course. Was that always the plan, or is it sort of like now that you have had success and had a platform, those things are more appealing to you now, or has that always been the plan to sort of broaden like you have?
I think it's maybe a big picture. It's always in the plan somewhat, but in terms of what it is, you just don't know the opportunities that you're going to have. No, if you'd have told me when I was 18 years old, hey, you're going to have a sunscreen line because you're going to have melanoma when you're 24, I would have been like, no, I'm good. I'd rather not have melanoma. But it's just the way things unfold, and obviously it is what it is for that situation and having a sunscreen brand. But it's like I'm trying to, raise awareness and benefit other people who don't maybe realize that they do have skin cancer, or that they should get checked more often. And the amount of people I've had that reach out that say they wouldn't have until they heard from me in my situation, and then they caught themselves. So that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to do. And it's the same thing with, with that. It's just if you have an opportunity to be involved in something that's unique, that's cool, that more importantly for me is I'm passionate about. I'm never going to invest in a company. I'm never going to be a part of something. Never want to have my name attached to something if it's not something that I'm passionate about, I want to use, I want to be involved with, and think is going to benefit whatever area that's in, if that makes sense. So I've been very fortunate to play some good golf to get me in some good positions, and it's been fun the last couple of years.
Other questions? We'll go to Cam over here on the left.
A couple questions. What specifically appeals to you about playing in the Monday night tech-infused golf league? And then what are you looking forward to with playing with Jordan against Tiger in the 12-hole match? And how much trash talk do you think there's going to be in that?
Sorry, what was the first part? The fans are a little loud. The first question?
What appeals to you about the Monday night tech-infused golf league?
Yeah, I think, I'll answer the easy one first, the obvious one first. Jordan and I are very excited, an opportunity for us to play against Tiger and Rory in a scenario situation like that. And I think we all are obviously very close, and we have an opportunity to just honestly go out like we would, us four, go play a practice round and have some kind of match. And I'm sure it'll be very entertaining. And it's just going to be fun for us. Even if it wasn't an event on TV, us four would have a blast going out and playing 12 holes together, let alone under the lights at what sounds like a really cool golf course. So, yeah, it'll be a blast. But, yeah, I think for the Monday Night League, I think it's just something, the game of golf is doing so well right now. I think obviously, we've had some things change the last, whatever you want to call it, year or so. But even now, I think the game of golf is still doing really, really well. And for us to try to take advantage of these opportunities to just widen their horizons and just get get the people that are interested and involved in golf outside of golf. And I think that's what a lot of it is. It's, we have a handful, I would call it, of players that are maybe recognized globally, whereas we have a lot of guys that should be thrown in that same kind of category. And I feel like this is something that'll bring in a totally different, entertaining, fun, both for the players, for the people that are physically there watching, and the people that are watching on TV, just some more enjoyment and excitement to the game that will hopefully just continue to take it up and up.
All right, we'll go to Joy right here, and then Doug.
Justin, Tiger was here yesterday and obviously very disappointed that he's not able to play this week. You have been inspired and motivated by Tiger and your peers. What do you guys do to motivate Tiger in moments like this when he has to, after the accident, or now when he is not able to? Are you guys just pulling his legs and just making him feel better, or what are you guys doing?
Was that a pun, pulling his legs? Or I'm just sorry. I couldn't resist. No, I mean, first and foremost, it doesn't matter who he is. Like, I just want to be there as his friend. He's obviously very different in terms of stubbornness and how he's always gone about everything. And there's a reason he's the GOAT, is that his mental side of him is unlike anything I've ever seen of anybody I've ever known. So there's not really a whole lot I can bring to the table in that side, but you just want to be there as a friend. You want to be supportive. I want to know that I can help in any way that I can, which he obviously has a team for that. He's got everybody involved, but myself and any of us, it's just reaching out and telling them we're thinking about them. Whether it's at home, we go hit balls, we go play golf, we work out, whatever it is. Just it's not necessarily just doing it to. Obviously, it's also helped to keep his spirits up and what's going on, but you just want to hang out with him because he's a friend. So. Hopefully he can just keep his spirits up high and continue to improve his foot and get back out here next year.
Doug? Okay, Doug, stage right.
Oh, Doug.
Just wanted to, in very general terms, how do you look at a year like this where you're a major champion? You and Rory and Tony had a nice go in Canada, but that was really about it.
I had a very solid beginning of the year. I think I had a handful of top threes or top fives, but it's just a lot of my best play was prior to the PGA. So I think if you took beginning of the season to PGA, I would argue that I played better than anybody. I would say that, not a lot, but more people had more wins than I did. But in terms of playing golf, I felt that I was playing just as well, if not better than anybody. But unfortunately, that doesn't really get you trophies or points or money. You have to go out and you have to execute the shots when you need to and hit the shot and make the putts and make the mental decisions, all that. And I just wasn't doing that as well last year. It is tough. I've gone back and forth because, as a whole, first thing that comes to my mind when I think about the year, I think it was pretty average. But I won a major championship. And if you told me every year the rest of my career I did what I did last year, I'd be hard-pressed to not take that. But me knowing what I feel like I can do and win multiple times a year, that part's frustrating. But I have to try to look at the positives and realize I won a major championship and had a lot of good things happen.
There's always been a question of whether it can be a great year without winning a major, and I think Tiger once said, if you've won a major, regardless, it's been a great year. Agree or disagree?
If he says it, then it's a great year. He's done it all, so it was a great year. Just it wasn't average, it was great.
Go to Rex and then Bob.
JT, how complete is your understanding of the PIP and how that list is compiled, or do you just kind of look at it when it comes out and move on?
I have a pretty good understanding. I have enough of an understanding, like anything, that if you play really good golf, everything's going to take care of itself. And I think that's on our side, or my side, what was frustrating before. I know the criteria is changing now, or it changed with the social media aspect, is everybody just thought it was a social media contest. and that's annoying because it's not. Yeah, it was one of the categories, but it's not like 150th ranked player in the world, the guy who's not winning any tournaments, not finishing top 10 at all, can just go be funny or good on social media and he's in the top 10 of the PIP. Like, that's just not how it works. It's for the people that are selling the tickets. It's for the people that are the reason NBC, CBS, all these people are wanting these TV deals. The reason why you all sit in these press conferences, they're the names and the pictures on tickets each week. Like, they're the people that are selling everything. And I do know that, like everything in the world, everything in this sport and other sports, if you perform well, you're going to benefit in that. So I don't know if that really answers your question. I have a pretty good idea of what the formula or whatever, what the categories are. I couldn't probably give you a very intelligent description of them all, but I have somewhat of an idea.
And kind of a different question. Tiger was in here yesterday talking about sort of what he's doing with Rory off the golf course as far as leadership goes. How would you describe him as a leader when it comes to what he's doing off the course?
For Tiger? Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I think he's probably been busier this year than he ever has any of the years he's played. And that's just of the stuff I know, let alone the amount of meetings, calls that I don't know. And I think some of y'all might understand, but I had no idea. I know I have, and my mom has talked to him a bunch about his foundation. I mean, the amount of hours and time that he spends every year on his foundation is unbelievable. I think it's grown and become as big, and they've raised however much money they have and have all these, buildings, whatever it is, and continue to build. But it's a lot. It's a toll on you, and he's done it for a long time. And I honestly think he doesn't even get enough credit for that sometimes. And as a player who's playing on this tour and having someone like him going to bat for you and speaking on your behalf and knowing that everything he's saying has myself and all of my peers' best interest in mind is pretty cool because, he's Tiger Woods. He doesn't need to do that. He knows how much longer he's going to play. He knows, what his future is going to hold, but he knows how much the PGA Tour has done for him and what the tour has meant to him. And he wants to continue to see it be the best product and the best place to play in the world. And he's putting in a lot of work to make sure that's true.
Bob and then Mark.
Justin, two separate things. One, I'll just follow on Tiger real quick. Obviously, he didn't win this year. He wasn't that competitive. But just where do you rank him returning at all? And you probably know as well as anybody what he was dealing with off the course that a lot of people don't see. To the rest of us, it was kind of a surprise he played the Masters, and just from there on, just to be able to do what he did.
Yeah, there was plenty of times I didn't think he was going to be playing some tournaments last year, but I mean, he made the cut in the Masters and made the cut in the PGA. Like, that's it's pretty insane, actually. I mean, to make the cut at Augusta for how he felt early in the year, it's mind blowing, honestly. But he's just I can't put it into words how much his mind just works in his favor compared to everybody else, and how much better it is than everybody else's. I mean, he's a different person when he gets out there, and especially at Augusta, and just all the good vibes and memories and everything he has. But when that focus clicks on, it's a different person.
And the other thing was just your reaction to what the tour recently did with the access for college players. I think in your case, you would have benefited from that had it been in place at the time, and wondered if you might have had any role in helping them, sort that out.
I think it goes hand in hand with what a lot of us said, is that with the changes that the tour is kind of going through and has gone through this past, call it 6 months, it's all just to get the best product possible. That's what we want. It's what you guys want. It's what the fans at home want. What the people buying tickets want. That's what everybody wants. And for that, you need some of the best amateur college players that are coming out to be a part of it. Now, for me, obviously, yeah, I would have loved that. But at the same time, I truly do think a big reason of the success that I had at 23, 24, 25 years old was because of the route that I went. I had to go through Q school, had to earn my web.com then, now Corn Ferry card, had to play a season on the Corn Ferry, had to earn my card. I didn't win, and I learned how to win at the professional level. I had a lot of close calls that I just didn't, that I learned from. And I learned how to travel, how to just everything that comes with being a professional golfer. And I was 20 years old, 21 years old, my first year as a pro, and I don't think I would have handled that very well on the PGA Tour, to be honest. So do I think I would have been okay? Yeah, but I don't know if I would have had the success as early as I did without going the route that I did. Now, that's not saying that other kids can't do it, but I'm just speaking for me personally.
So Mark, and then we
Hey,
have one in the
Justin.
back.
I'm curious what your impression of Cam Young's ascent has been for a guy that had no status not too long ago and isn't, obviously now here this week and almost won a couple majors last year.
Yeah, Cam is extremely impressive. He's just very much right here. He's kind of DJ-like of just very even keel. He never gets high, never gets low. I played with him in the final group on Sunday at Riviera last year. And I remember, I knew he was a rookie. I'd never met him, never played with him. And I remember the first hole, he hit it in the front bunker in 2. And, I think Joaquin had a pretty big lead, 4 or 5 shot lead, something like that. And he left that in the bunker. And I remember thinking, this is, for a rookie final group of a big event, this is about the worst start you could think of. And he hit that one out to about 12 feet and made it for par. I remember kind of thinking, oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. And then, a couple holes goes by, makes another birdie. And just all of a sudden we're on 14 and he's 2 back. And I just looked at Bones. I'm like, this kid's really good. I'm like, he's handled this moment unbelievably, and he continued to do that the rest of the year. It's clear that when he putts well, he's got a very good chance to win. He hits it so far and so flush. He's one of those guys that you listen to him hit irons, and it's a different sound than a lot of other guys. And I think he's going to have an unbelievable career.
In the back.
Justin, I just spoke to Victor Hovland. Next year you guys might need to play a bit more than you usually do. What kind of an impact would you have on the preparation for ahead of the majors?
For me, it's not really too different. In terms of the number of events, it would be very similar to what I've played basically every year except for 2020. So it's not really a big difference for me. I'll have to add a couple events maybe that I didn't play in previous years, but it's not really a big difference, at least for me personally. I think there's 30 or 35 events on the PGA Tour I would love to play, but I just can't play due to scheduling, and that's still going to be the case. And, I'm just going to try to get as prepared and ready for each and every one of them as I can.
We'll go to Dylan and then Doug.
You mentioned all the things that you learned going up through Corn Ferry. What did you learn this year?
What did I learn this year? Probably to not be so hard on myself. I felt like I was really hard on myself this year, and kind of like I was saying to Doug, is I felt like beginning of the year I was playing as good or better than anybody, and I just had no wins to show for it, and I felt like, when you're in those roles, those rhythms, like Scotty got on last year, like Rory's on right now, you see Rahm get on him like I was on however many years ago, winning comes easier than it should, and sometimes you just feel like that should happen every time, and that's just not the case. And I put myself in position quite a few times in the beginning of the year. I didn't shoot the scores when I needed to, or hit the shots or make the putts when I needed to in previous years, and I think I put so much pressure on myself to do it, and then I almost wanted it too bad versus just trusting in myself and believing that, I've worked hard enough, I've put in enough time that I just have to go play golf just stay present, stay in the moment, and just kind of let it happen as opposed to making it happen, if that makes sense.
All right, got time for two more. We'll go to Doug and then Fatia.
I had just two quick ones off topic. Were you at all nervous on your wedding day?
Not really, no. I wasn't.
Second question is, what is the most money you've ever spent on a sporting ticket?
Most money I've ever spent on a sporting ticket?
You still pay for those?
I was going to say, I don't really pay for tickets anymore, Doug. That's not true. I actually went to a Predators game, and we sat in a suite and found out I got charged for it, so that one. Yeah, I did. I still would have gone, but a little heads up would have been nice.
All right, we'll take our last question here from Fatia.
Justin, I asked Tiger and Rory about this before. Do you see any peace restored between Live Tour and PGA Tour? And do you think Tiger will play a big role in doing that?
Do I see any peace right now?
Yes.
Definitely not. I think they've made that pretty well known. It's not... it doesn't seem they don't really want peace. I still get along with, I've talked to plenty of them. I see some of them, the guys that are playing on Live, but it doesn't seem that they really want peace. So, and I'm also really not too worried about it. Those guys that they're doing their thing, and we're out here trying to do ours and play well. And, we have great leadership in Tiger and Rory and what they're trying to lead the group of guys out here to create, a great product out here on the PGA Tour. And, we've been the best tour for a very, very long time, and we plan on continuing to be that. So I'm excited about the future. I know that they are too. And, it is what it is.
All right, Justin, thank you very much for your time.